Robin.
Good morning, Larry the Cable Guy.
I know, right? Actually, we always have it, but it's usually Club Soda
What's
Kenny.
up, Larry? Been a while. How are you, sir?
It's been good night. I was a short, thin black man last time I was
Wait, what happened? I can't hear
Which
you.
one you want me to sit
Which one you like? Which one you like?
Sit here, no
Pick
matter
the comfy seat.
What did you say last time you were here? What?
Last time I was here, it's been so long. Last time I was here, I was a tall, thin black man. But now
It's been a while.
I know now I'm a short, fat white guy.
But that has nothing to do with us. We would love to have you in.
No,
You've been a busy man, sir.
I've been very busy, and I got to just say this: I hate starting off with a bitch, but here's why security pisses me off. Like, I'm coming into the building today. As soon as I get here, every single person down there, hey, Larry, get her done. Let me see your license.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Like-
you get up here, security in this country would be fine if it came with a little common sense.
Yeah.
It's like the reason you have security is to make sure that somebody that you don't know is somewhere they shouldn't be. So you check to make sure, well, who's this guy and where's he going?
Yeah.
But when you go somewhere and everybody knows who you are, why should, it's like...
That should be good enough.
And well, then you do that. Then I get up in the building. You got a security guard there, and then you got some guy standing there with the door open, going, "Hey, Larry, come on. You're on in like 5 minutes." And the guy goes, "Hold on, I need to see your identification." Look, dude, you dumbass. Why do I need the guy's right there? He knows I'm here.
Right.
That's what's lacking. It's like when you go to the airport. I remember when they started frisking people during the holidays at the airport. Grabbing your nuts, fondling your private parts at the airport, which sucked because my wife was already worried about my uncle feeling her up, Now she's got to worry about
Strangers.
the government
Complete
doing
strangers,
it.
right.
But it's just irritating. And first of all, what am I possibly going to smuggle under my nuts, bring an airplane down? You know what I mean?
In all fairness, you do look like a terrorist, though.
Oh, yeah, you
So
fit
they have
the profile.
You really fit the profile.
really-
I
Yeah.
really did. Look,
You gotta watch
if I
that.
could smuggle something under my nuts, it'd be luggage, so I got to pay the extra $25. All right.
Look at you. You look just like the terrorist. Look at you.
I look just like a Taliban, don't I? It's but that was my bitch for today.
You know what, though?
It's just so
You're
frustrating.
you're a visitor, though. We work here every day. They see us every day, and every once in a while we'll forget we all have these dumb badges, right? Every once in a while you forget it at home.
Right.
We have to jump through hoops. It's like you see me every day.
That's what
obviously if it says in the system that I wasn't fired, then just let me through. But you have to sign up, you have to sign this, they have to take a new picture. I'm like, what are you doing?
That's why government is such a bunch of dumbasses. Look, I'm all for following, but have a little common sense. It's like they've got government. When you get to be a government official or somebody in charge, you lose all sense of effing common sense.
Yeah.
And that's why the rest of America can't stand y'all, because you're a bunch of dickheads, because you have no common sense.
You know what common sense is, though? Common sense, people mistake it for profiling and being prejudiced and doing that. It's like, no, it's common sense.
Exactly.
It could save so much money and time if they would just put a little, common sense into the whole thing.
I completely agree. And that guy down there, I mean, you could have gave him a Viagra and he'd have got 2 inches taller. I'll guarantee. I'll guarantee. Just pathetic.
This only in America. I know you're here for Cars too, and we'll certainly make sure everyone knows about that. But this only in America does look like a good show. I personally have not seen it and saw it and said, man, he really likes what Larry's doing with this show.
I thought honestly that you were going to be like this kind of nice guy that goes around and just does these things in America and stuff, and it wasn't going to be very edgy or anything.
Almost like a fluff piece.
Like a fluff piece, like one of those fluff news pieces. Like, hey, we got our reporter here, and he's going to do this. But you are saying some funny shit to some of these people, man. I saw that one episode where you went. I guess you were crawfish.
It was crawfishing,
grabbing up some crawfishing. You were giving that guy so much shit. It was hilarious.
How many kids? 8 kids. They've got a thing in other places called rubber. You ever hear that?
Yeah, rubber.
And how about that one dude? I go, oh man, that's what he used for bait. It stinks, Larry. It really stinks. That's not a good good order. I go, wow, we're going to get done doing this? My wife's going to accuse me of cheating on her.
Yeah, it's like shit like that. And I'm like, okay, now I get what he's doing now. It's not just like the fluff piece of the, the weatherman being sent around the country to do wacky stuff.
Well, how do you crawfish, by the way? Is that a net?
Dude, you put some bait that they have prepared. It's a nutritional bait, and then the heads of dead fish, and you just put them out with traps, and you can leave them out there, and then you pull them up, and all these crawfish get these.
I hate crawfish, by the way.
Disgusting.
It looked awful, and then the whole processing part of it too, where the women are there just pulling the fucking things apart. I was horrified by the whole thing.
It completely sucks, but I mean, it makes for a good show. But that's the reason for the show. Just interviewing regular Americans that got really different kinds of jobs, but they're living the American dream. Because you watch the news, it's all BS. It's all everybody. America sucks. We're all a bunch of racists. The whole thing. Well, this is a show where I'm going. It doesn't matter what color, where you live, the whole deal. You're raising your kids in America. You're trying to live the American dream. You're good folks, and I like talking to them. And I talk to them like I would talk regular to you guys.
Exactly.
Just showing people, look.
Yeah.
Everybody's not politically correct. Right. 90% of this country is just like, if it's funny and if you said a funny quip, they're going to laugh at it. It's no big deal. It's just showing America, raw America, and it's awesome.
You nailed it. Why are they forcing us to be politically correct? It's never going to happen.
Well, I want to know who they are.
Yeah.
That's how we say it, Larry, because you don't know who they are.
No, and they go, well, I don't think you can do that joke. Why can't I do that joke?
Right. Who's saying I can't do that joke?
Well,
give me a name.
It's rude. Well, it's rude to you. It may not be rude to the other 8 people I just told the joke.
A lot of people were laughing, but if one person doesn't like it and they write a letter,
that's the thing.
Then that has more weight than the thousands of people
that enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand about common sense. I'm not going to do an off-color joke in front of a bunch of little kids and family environment. If I'm out with a guy crawfishing, that's how 2 guys would talk being out crawfishing.
Right.
Now, my show on the History Channel, I keep it so, because I know there's going to be some kids watching it. Most of your little kids are asleep. But I try to keep it a certain hard PG-15 type show.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you're right. I don't want to do something. Not everything has to be for little kids. Not everybody has to be Al Roker. I'm just a regular guy.
And that's what I saw, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it.
It's refreshing, right, Ant?
Yeah, I almost wish they would advertise it a little more honestly, like that's what it is,
right?
Because I had a misconception about it.
I really did, but now
I found it very funny.
I'm gonna check it out now.
I appreciate it. I was real happy because I remember before it came out, and you shouldn't read these things, but I went on to see what some people thought what it was going to be, or that kind. And then after the first 6, I'm like, oh shit, that's a stupid move.
You ought to just throw your computer in the water.
I know, but I will say this: for the first time, when I went back and rechecked some of that stuff after the show aired, and there were literally people on there going, I'll be honest with you, I changed my mind. The show is nothing like I thought it was going to be.
I know
so,
that seems to be the verdict on that one.
I got to ask you about Tracy Morgan. What do you think about that whole thing?
I don't think he should have apologized.
God bless you.
I really don't. Look,
it was on a comedy stage.
But even if it wasn't a comedy, those are his feelings. That's the cool thing about America. You have the freedom. That's what my show is about. We have the freedom to think, do anything, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. As long as you're not physically killing and beating on somebody.
Right.
Whatever happened to sticks and stones? Whatever happened? Look, people call me names all the time. I don't give a shit. Call me whatever you want to. I got a life other than you, and if I don't like you, I tune you out.
Yep.
It's like some people complain, Opie and Anthony were saying this. Well, then turn off dang Opie and Anthony, you dumbass.
Don't make a crusade to get us, take it off the air and lose our job.
Flippin' retarded. And I got to tell you, Tracy Morgan is a funny guy. He was just on stage doing his show, so maybe he was angry, or maybe he said it. The guy says, I didn't like the tone in which he was saying. Well, who the F are you to say you don't like the tone of the way somebody's saying something? Yeah. There's a lot of other comedians out there. Let me tell you something. Lisa Lampanelli is a dear friend of mine. She goes on stage and says stuff 100 times, and then they'll go, yeah, but she's just joking about, well, we're joking
Tracy
or not. It's the same kind of thing. Come on, you guys.
And you're up on a stage. And we were saying, once a comic gets on stage and starts being censored because of PC police out there, That's really bad.
You know what? You're exactly right.
Really
and,
bad.
and a lot of comedians are in for a rude awakening. At some point down the line, all these people go, well, he should have apologized. Wait till they start telling you to apologize for something that you did. And that day is coming. Every comedian should stick up for every other comedian when they're on stage because it is freedom of expression. That's what makes this country great. And because you don't like what somebody else is saying, then don't listen to that. Don't buy a ticket to go see him anymore.
You have the right to be offended.
You have the
right to be offended.
But here's the thing: we've become such pussies.
Yep.
You can't. It's a wonder we even win a goddamn war anymore. Because I mean, the other soldiers don't even have to shoot at us. They just have to say something offensive, and we'll melt in the line.
They've offended us.
I want to applaud Larry the Cable Guy, because not a lot of guys defending Tracy. Not a lot of the big names.
Well, look,
some big names are a little scared to talk about this.
It's freedom. It's freedom of expression.
Right.
I don't have to agree with what Tracy Morgan says, but I agree with the fact that Tracy Morgan is a stand-up comedian. People pay to go see him, and if he says something they don't like, then they got that decision. Well, you know what? He was a little off the edge for me today. I don't agree with a lot of things he said. I'm not going to pay to see Tracy Morgan anymore. But if you want to protest Tracy Morgan, and if he doesn't apologize, and here's the thing: do you want him to apologize because he was really sorry for what he said, or do you want him to apologize because he was scared he was going to get thrown off Saturday Night Live? I would rather somebody apologize to me because they really sincerely feel bad about what they say, not because they would. And if you start losing jobs over stuff that you say, we might as well goddamn move to China.
And what happened to just the apology being good enough? Glad said, well, the apology, we accept his apology, but that's not enough. We need more from Tracy Morgan. Remember the days if someone apologized to you, that was sort of good enough if you knew he was sincere?
Yeah, now he's got to be a spokesman.
Well, we said they grabbed him, and now they're holding him hostage. Now we're going to make you do a few things, or we're going to ruin your fucking career.
Yeah, the apology is always a lot nicer when it comes with a check for $1 million. That's when the apology is always really, he apologized. That was a nice apology.
Or you agree to speak.
Yeah, it gets down to the root of what the apology is all about. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard or seen an apology by a public figure that I have thought was sincere in years.
No, never.
None of them. They're always trying to either save their own ass or appease somebody, or it's forced out of them. There's never anybody that has done anything that I've seen them go, look, and immediately they say, and it's not written by a spokesperson or said by somebody else, and just honestly went, look, yeah, I screwed up and I really apologize. You don't see that.
No, it's like these politicians. I'll tell you right now, if there was a politician out there that said something and people got on him and he said, no, I'm not going to apologize. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That guy's going to get a lot of votes, especially if people feel the same way he feels.
Wow, honesty, right? Yeah, you'd be like, wow, there you go.
What happened to that? But, that's just the thing, a long time ago when I was doing stand-up writing commentaries that was just something, a long time ago. But I remember we had a conversation way back in the mid-'90s about how political correctness is going to end up killing a lot of businesses. And it's about to kill stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah. Because Tracy's not the last one.
No.
You're going to see people go, oh, we have the opportunity. Let me come in here. I'm going to record this. Right. And we'll get a good recording of a comic saying something off color, take it completely out of context. And then, wow, this is hate speech.
Well, it's like when Kramer did what he did,
Oh, yeah.
And all the black comics are coming out going, well, I wasn't really offended. He's just a bad comedian.
Yeah, he just sucks.
He's not a comedian.
He wasn't funny, though.
He's not racist.
At all.
He's just a bad comic, which is true. He was a funny actor, but his stand-up that night, anyway, was pretty bad.
And that's why he did what he did, because he felt the frustration.
He was frustrated.
Because no one was laughing at his shit.
They should have just put a door on the stage and had him slide through it.
And that would have
just do that like 20 times, 20 different kind of.
Hey, Larry, you made obviously literally $1 billion off the catchphrase "Get Her Done," right?
$832 million.
There you go.
Nice.
And, did you see?
Let me tell you something. I did not make that much.
Did you see? You see SNL beating up?
Shirt?
Did you see SNL beating up the catchphrase comic? That skit they did?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, my God.
Fucking funny, man. I got to be honest with you.
It was pretty goddamn funny.
Did they have to get her done in there?
They might as well have. I think they twisted it a little bit.
They used other ones, yeah. They used other catchphrases.
Well, you know, they might have left me out because Keenan's a buddy of mine. I had him on my Christmas. They might have left me out for that. But when it comes to stuff like that, I did the Comedy Central roast. I can take a joke like anybody else. Here's the thing about how we all should do it. I mean, we're comedians. We make people laugh. But look, we shouldn't take ourselves that seriously. I mean, I don't, you know.
Yeah.
There's nobody's, you know, I'm not running for president.
You got a great goofy
laugh.
ass job. That's what I think when I come in here. It's like the hardest part is getting up this early. But then after that, it's like, I got the best dumbass job. It's not even work.
I hear you. And I gotta tell you, sometimes I feel goofy. Like, all my friends, I've had the same friends I've had for a long time. Not a lot of my friends are in show business. And so when I'm doing like these Cars 2 interviews, well, what was your inspiration in the studio? Was it hard to get in? You know, and then I hear other people going, well, it was long days. I was in there for 6 hours and I was constantly, my voice is hurting. If I ever say anything like that, dude, my buddy Greg and my buddy Brad would kick my ass. They're up there on a roof, shingling a house. You know, and their buddies up there talking about how he's famished in a studio.
And he needs a little water for his voice.
Around with a hot mop.
I was heading somewhere with the catchphrase thing. We discovered 2 catchphrase comics. Do you know the Hamburger Guy or the Shucky Ducky?
I know Shucky Ducky. I figured that.
Shucky Ducky quack quack.
That was his punchline to everything.
Shucky Ducky quack quack.
Why didn't that take off like Get Her Done? That's my question today.
Dude, I don't know, but
Shucky Ducky quack quack.
I love Shucky Ducky quack quack.
Let me tell you something.
His punchline sucked so bad he had to pump it up with this.
Shucky Ducky quack quack.
Now, see, to me, that's flipping hilarious. I would pay to see
Shucky Ducky quack quack.
And do you know Hamburger?
I don't know the Hamburger Guy.
Hamburger. He would just say,
he would say that after his punchlines. He'd
be like, and that's how my mother-in-law did it. Hamburger.
I wish
it would have nothing to do with hamburger.
I wish we had a little taste where you get to hear the joke and then he goes
hamburger.
Dude,
I guess that's where the laughs were supposed to be.
I'll tell you how those guys can do that. See, you market it to morning radio, and you just become the dumbest act on the planet. So that people have to, I've got to buy a shirt that says hamburger on it. You know, because people would then buy that thing.
Yes.
But it's like, I had a buddy of mine, and he's still a good buddy of mine, 2-foot Fred. He's a little midget guy, you know, and great, but it was just he tours with me sometimes, you know, we'll take him with us, and he'll play Redneck Yoda. He'll come on stage and be Redneck Yoda every now and then, but I always try jokes on him. Some of them go over his head, but thank you very much. But he was trying to get a catchphrase. They had the CMT, Country Music Television, was having the Country Music American Idol, but he was the guy that interviewed the person as they got eliminated, and he thought he was going to get this big catchphrase. All right, well, hit the bricks.
Hit
the bricks.
Hit the bricks.
And so he was so proud of this. He was going to get these hit the bricks T-shirts,
hats.
Well, one time he was about to say hit the bricks and run out of time, and you could see he was ready. Oh, I'm going to get my hit the bricks, and he goes, all right then, well, hit that. And they went to a commercial.
They cut his catchphrase
I think they told him to quit saying hit the bricks because he never said it again.
When you started with
when
you started with Get Her Done, were you scared that it wasn't going to stick?
You know what, guys? Honest to God, it was one of the catchphrases I always say. Those guys, the difference is Shucky Ducky Quack Quack and Hamburger. They're trying to make them a catchphrase.
Right.
You can't try and make a catchphrase. Anyway, not that I know of. Jeff, like You Might Be a Redneck, fell into it. He never thought it was going to be a way. And it's just like Get Her Done. I went on stage in the late 80s doing a cable installer character, and, you know, and get it done, you know. And then I started calling a radio station. That's that's how I would sign off. You know, it's just funny to me.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I actually quit doing it for 6 months because it was such a pain in the ass. Because I was the only guy on the radio station that was a touring comic, really, and they always had me get up at 6 a.m. And I'm like, dude, I just got in an hour ago.
Sucks. I'm exhausted.
But when I heard people starting to say it, it just became a catchphrase. And if you would have told me, I never in a million years would I have thought it would ever become what it was when I started doing it. Then when I noticed 5 years later, I noticed, hey, this is, wow, I can't believe it's catch. It's like Steve Martin said in his book when he had that magic shop and he used to do the magic tricks. One of his earliest little magic tricks was this thing called Happy Feet. You know, these little pictures of these little feet. And he used to do this little dance thing with the happy feet when he was a kid doing magic. And it turned into one of his big catchphrases. You just have no idea what stuff like that. But I will say, I wish I would have thought of Shucky Ducky Quack.
Shucky Ducky Quack.
We got a joke?
That's awesome.
Really quick. I know we don't have a lot of time with Larry today, unfortunately. But here's Hamburger, so you get to hear the joke and then how he works in Hamburger.
Jehovah's Witnesses. Hamburger. Arrested Development. They need to be arrested. Arrested for kidnapping that old man, putting this behind the group.
Hamburger.
You can tell he don't want to be in the group. Every time he see me try to get his way, it's like.
Sorry. Then. Hamburger?
MC Light talking about you want a roughneck. Give him a roughneck today. Next week, behind one a restraining order.
Hamburger?
Hamburger.
What the? Why?
It's so random.
It's just out of context completely. He just. Why does he say it?
And the thing is, that's the funniest line. The hamburger.
Hamburger.
I'm glad you
stink.
Dude,
we thought you would enjoy that.
My God, that is hilarious. Hamburger.
You know, Cars 2. A bunch of our guys went and saw it, said this movie was really, really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
I love the first one, and I'm sure this is going to be right up there with the first one.
I got to tell you, when they showed it to me, I thought, well, I'm sure it's going to be good, but that first one, man, that's close. That's, you know, it was my first Pixar movie, and it was real special to me, you know. And I got to tell you, they blew it out of the water completely. I mean, literally within 10 minutes, I was like, holy shit. I mean, completely outdid themselves. And the writing, the way they kind of did a little tribute to Paul Newman's car, his character. So everything is perfect. It's complete action, but yet they got the heart in it. I mean,
it's amazing
crazy
how they pull that off. You watch these and you forget you're watching CGI cartoon for the most part. You know?
You really do.
You instantly forget. You get involved in it like they're characters. It's like, wait, you don't think like, oh my God, the tow truck's talking again? What is it? You know, it becomes a character.
It's unbelievable. And I'd read a thing where they were talking about one of the hardest parts to do in the second film, since it was so action packed, was bringing the heart into it that the first one had, and they really struggled with it, with the writing wise. But boy, when they finally got it, they really got it. So it's really good, and I'm also excited because it's the only movie that I've been in with the number 2 after it. So I don't normally get a chance.
You never get to number 2.
I never get to number 2. So I finally got to number 2. I'm excited.
Is the movie based around your character? The tow truck?
You know what? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's still about McQueen. The thing is, McQueen's going to do an international road race. Now, Mater found it. Mater said, he told him about it. And Mater wants to go. He's hoping that he takes him because he's never been anywhere but Radiator Springs, and he wants to help out whatever he can on the race. So McQueen ends up taking him. He can't go without Mater. They're buddies.
Yeah.
And, of course, while they're over there, Mater gets caught up in this international spy thing, and they think he's so good at being Mater. They're like, nobody can be this idiotic when they travel overseas. This guy's got to be a spy pretending to be stupid.
Right.
And it's just really awesome. And I'm just, dude, guys, I'm blown away. I mean, the fact that I did 1, now I've done 2, and the whole movie, basically, the comedy is Mater, the heart is Mater. It's just, it's awesome.
Good for you.
It's awesome.
Get a piece of the merch.
You get a lot.
No, that's
taste.
that's the only part of the movie that makes me cry. I'll be honest with you.
That is some huge money. That merchandising.
I'm
There's
telling
a
you,
lot of money with that merch.
I am working on a thing I want them to pick up. I'm writing a script for the Peanuts gang. I'm trying to buy the rights to some of the Peanuts gang stuff just to do a script for them. But I want to send the Peanuts gang to Mexico, right over the border.
Yeah,
it'll be great. I hope they back me. I hope Disney back. It burns when I pee, Charlie Brown, and I'm hoping we can get that going. I mean, that would be an awesome
maybe a quick trip to Tijuana.
Tijuana,
something
go down
happens.
there.
It burns when I pee,
How much
Charlie
would you
Brown.
see that? Take the
He could
kids.
spread it around. All of a sudden, Lucy gets it.
Well, here's the funny thing. They would say, well, you can't, that's a kid. Come on, that's a kid's movie. You know what? They're in 8th grade, at 8 years old now, they're teaching stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
don't get mad at me.
Exactly.
You're going to get mad at me for that joke. Get mad at the public school system for doing the same thing.
Your people are trying to yank you
You're
out
a busy guy, man.
Are they really? I tell you, I love doing your show, man. It's a
Thanks,
lot
Larry.
of fun. I miss Norton. I always like when Norton's in here.
Yeah, Norton's
He had a big gig in Chicago.
Did he? Okay.
He's flying back right now. He's doing an antisocial tour right now.
Oh, is he?
Big theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's having a good time doing that.
He'll be back
Jimmy's
tomorrow.
a good guy, man. I sure enjoy him. But guys, thanks a lot for always having. You know, one day, one day, just for you guys on some show, I think I'll just go cheeseburger.
Please do that.
I would do that just for you one time.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Speaking of,
Cars 2 in theaters. What next
are we
week?
going?
Next week it starts. Cars 2 with Larry the Cable Guy.
24th.
All right, man. We're gonna take a quick
Thanks,
break.
man.
Stay there.
Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho. I say boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, way-ho. Hey-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. Hey-oh.
Antonio.
Amy.